Jennifer and Andrew. You guys are so wonderful. Let us into the house that was Susan Connor's house and was the post office for Ketch Harbor for so many years. This place is so nice and old. I love it. And I saw this stove. That's got to have been here.
1901.
Oh, wow.
These are from the old Mason engine. That's from the original Silverman
No, that's not. I think that's the original. I think that was maybe they were shopping for a new one at one point. We found correspondence one day, letters back and forth, pricing and getting information on a new stove, but I don't know where they are.
Any letters from the States?
I think there may be a few in there. Some cards and letters.
Now tell me the story about Evelyn, because it's a pretty interesting story.
I don't know.
Iris
know a
knows
little
it,
bit.
don't you,
Yeah,
Iris?
you know Evelyn, or Iris probably know better than Jennifer and I would.
All I really know.
Well, I know that she was brought up by Richard Fleming and Eunice.
Mhm.
Who was Eunice? What was Eunice's maiden name?
Eunice was a Martin, yes, I think Eunice was a Martin. Was she not your grandfather's sister?
I think you're right.
Because if Rich was a Fleming, Eunice must have
Yeah.
been a Martin.
Yes, Richard was
Yes.
Fleming.
And, yes,
Oh, we're not 100% sure.
99?
It's in my files at home, but
Mhm.
that's some lawyers. Stuff.
But I think Evelyn came here when she was about 11, when her parents passed.
Yes, that's what it
I
says.
believe so. And her siblings were split up to different families, different homes.
Yes.
I do know that.
And
And
they adopted her.
Yes, they
Yes,
adopted
yes,
her.
they actually adopted.
And I know Andrew's family, his father and siblings spent a lot of time here as well. They were really second parents.
Yeah.
From what I understand, they
Yeah,
even
that's-
had
yeah.
stockings here at Christmas time. So they would have their Christmas up the road at home and then come down here, grandparents' house up the hill,
Ah.
and then come here and have second or third Christmas.
So, Andrew, how are you related to this house then?
My father grew up in the harbor. And basically, like Jennifer said, he was brought up down here when he was probably about 14.
He spent a lot of time here. His
Yeah.
father passed when he was young.
About 14, so
Yeah.
13, 14. So.
Yeah, so
And
spent
he
a
was
lot
very
of time
close
with
to Evelyn.
That was John. That's right. I mean, they never had any kids of their own.
Rich and
Yes,
Eunice, yeah.
yeah, that's right. Okay.
And they raised her, and then she inherited it or something, or how did she
Would've
just
been
ran the
signed over
post
to her.
office?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Oh,
Post office
okay.
Evelyn
and the store.
inherited, yes, the post office and the store. And then she moved out in the 80s. I don't recall which year. She lives in Herring Cove, of course.
It is really nice.
Yeah. And at that point, Andrew's parents took over the maintenance
Okay.
of the house and come
Been
down
in
a
the
lot.
family ever since, yeah.
Yeah, and come
And
down
I
a lot with
understand
her.
that your dad also still sees Evelyn. but-
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
no, they take her for groceries every week.
Give her
And
groceries,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they've been
On
down
her
a lot
phones.
with her this
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
bring her
good.
down and have a picnic
Oh,
and have a
good.
barbecue.
Oh,
And
that's nice.
That article is really nice about it. It sounded like she was very popular.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
yeah.
Oh, there's all kinds of write-ups. Actually, I thought there was another album. Was that at home? That's at Mom and Dad, isn't it?
Evelyn's album, yes. There may be something in that one, honey, but I don't think so.
So this house, like you said, this house was a happening place because there wasn't much else here in Ketch Harbor.
Oh, I can't imagine.
I mean, there was the church and
But,
the glebe house, I think.
But apparently the church had some great dances and picnics.
Oh,
back
wow.
in the day.
Yeah.
I think that's how
Even
his
in the
parents met.
1950s, they still had
Yeah.
dances
Yes.
because my brothers came down here and their wives
Yes.
came down to dance.
And that's how Andrew's parents, I believe, met, was from
Yes.
his mom coming down
Yeah.
and
Oh,
spending time at the dances. But yeah, I think this was quite the gathering place. Eunice played
Nice.
the piano, and no one could get in or out without a cup of tea.
oh, it feels like that in here, and I'm so grateful for you, allowing me in here like this and having coffee ready and everything because I've been running around trying to get these shots and.
Freezing cold.
And yeah, and I'm driving everybody crazy.
at all.
But that was really sweet of you, and I'm thank you very much. I love this place. Found something, Iris.
But Richard Fleming, maybe his father.
Let me see. Turn it to the camera here. So
Oh, sorry.
this is my lovely assistant, Iris.
You don't want my
Oh
thumb
my
on
God,
it
who
there,
would
but-
that be?
Well, see, it's because it's tintype. We're back in the 1860s,
Well,
70s.
Yes,
time frame.
right. Oh,
Oh, good.
nice.
So it could be
Hey, you're thinking,
James
well, it was Richard Fleming's
James
house, right? Before.
Well, who married Susan O'Connor? Richard Fleming's aunt was Susan Connors.
Ah,
Okay, so Susan Connors was a Fleming before she married the Connors. I can't remember.
Old stamps.
would this have been would they come in the front door for the post office?
No, right
No,
here.
back through here.
In the back door?
And all the mail was open on the table that's there
Yeah,
now.
that same
Ah,
table that we
because
have
they
up.
lived in the front and I see.
And then you can see in the, on your left there's some old postcards in a frame.
Oh, right.
They're oldies, they're not very politically correct.
We picked out our 4 favorite and.
Well, that's what these are. No, they're in here.
And, oh, they're neat.
Yeah, you want to pull them up for again?
What
Those are
year
the-
would they be?
I can't read them. I can't read them.
Well, I'll
backwards,
tell you,
backwards,
one night
too.
we actually took out a marker
Oh, did you?
and
Yeah, okay,
and
stamped
stamped them on. Now this pencil may. I know one is rejected or something
Oh.
like.
Oh, wow. So this would be in the 40s, maybe 30s?
them. Oh,
probably
later
the,
than that.
yeah.
Miss
She was here,
sent.
I think, 1980.
This one says Miss sent
Something.
to.
Aww.
Was it
No,
so-
no
right.
return to sender on these.
Oh, is that what it said? I couldn't read it.
Some not called for.
But
20 or
they,
30 years.
and then, okay, so it's about 20, 30 years, and before that they lived here, the Eunice, the Flemings lived here, and then before that it was this Susan Connors
in the previous house.
in the previous house that was before even this house was
yes,
built.
because Rich built this house, as far as I know.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And this they'd come in this door and they just get their mail right here. That's cool. So now everybody has to go where? Halifax?
There was a post office here around the corner, but it closed a couple of years ago. So, oh well, yes, the mailbox is around.
So,
We know that Susan Connors didn't have any children. That's why she left the place to Richard Fleming, her nephew. And the boys didn't look tall enough to be Richard. Richard was so tall.
Yes, he was so tall. I would think he'd be a stocky boy when he was younger.
Yeah, he was a very nice looking man. You know, doesn't.
so I just have no idea who these are.
Not a clue.
They must be attached to the house.
Andrew has an
Yeah.
aunt that probably could tell you who everybody
Yes.
was,
Oh,
I
yeah,
would
Mary,
think. And the soldiers from nearby, I don't know
Well,
which
they were
of,
stationed
whether
down
it
there.
was
Yeah.
Duncan's. Oh, Camperdown, thank
Oh,
you.
Camperdown, yes.
They were at the dance as well, and Andrew's Aunt Mary was there, and she was dancing with a soldier, and apparently he was struck by lightning.
They were struck by that.
Well, I think what it was, and then it went through her, but she screeched when the lightning struck, and another soldier reached out to touch her, so it went through her and got him, and I don't recall if one or two passed.
Just one.
Just one died? Okay. And apparently the story was, which we'd only ever heard directly from her, was that they were locking up the schoolhouse because of course there wasn't any power. They were locking up the schoolhouse, and one of the girls said, I have a flashlight, we should go back and see if everyone's out. And sure enough saw the 3 of them on the floor and carried her home, and her boots and her dress were singed, and the pins in her hair were rusted.
I think it was like the metal in
In
the
their
soldier's
boots.
boots. That's what conducted it. That's why he died.
Yeah.
Is this the schoolhouse that was up on Old School Road?
Yes.
Was-
as far as I know.
yeah.
isn't it?
I was just
Must
up
have been
there.
World War II.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
your
Yes.
aunt was involved.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And she spent a lot of time in this house. She lived in this house quite a bit. And her and Evelyn were,
She still
were
has
very
the piano.
close. Yeah, that's right. She has a piano. Yeah.
Yeah.